Hey everybody, I'm over at the store.nba.com. I just wanted to order myself a custom Bulls jersey. I'm going to type in, let's do number 26 there. And for the name, let's type in Tim Pool. Why did it say Tim Pool? Give me a space. There you go. Tim Pool. That's my name, everybody. My name's Tim Pool. Oh, look, it's loading up. Is it going to render it properly? Does this thing even work? It's not working. Okay, let's see. Let's try a different name and see what happens. Let's try the name Free Hong Kong. Wait, what? We are unable to customize this item with the text you have entered. Please try a different entry. Gee, that's weird. Could it be that my name is fine? Look at this. It says Free H. Let's get rid of the G and see what happens. Free Hong Kong. Let's add the G back. And wham, can't do it. Wait, let's put a space and a G. No, you can't do it. Space, G. Oh, wait, let's do dash G. It's not letting me do it. You cannot do Free Hong Kong. Let's do, okay, let's try Free Hong Kong. I think that one worked. Okay, you get the point. This is a story about the NBA and China. And I wanted to start it by showing you explicitly, by going to the store and trying to type it in. It didn't work. Now, to be fair, I've said that a lot, haven't I today? I'm trying to be fair, huh? There could be a lot of phrases that don't work. I don't know necessarily which ones do or don't. Seemed like my name was fine. Seemed like Free Hong Kong was fine, but add that G, not good enough. It could be there's a lot of banned phrases, but regardless of how many are banned, Free Hong Kong seems to be banned. That's messed up. Why can't I have that message? That's messed up. Check out the story from the National Review. Guess which phrase you can't place on a jersey on the NBA's custom store? Free Hong Kong. If you try to enter that construction, the site says, we are unable to customize this item with the text you have entered. Please try a different entry. Or you can put in other phrases of the same length or just change the spelling to Free Hong Kong, and the site will allow the buyer to proceed. One can also enter Free Tibet, China sucks. Any other phrase works, anything but Free Hong Kong. That's the story. A lot of people have tried. This disgusts me. When we have the censorship issue with China, if we want to call out China, if we as Americans want Free Hong Kong on our jerseys, why not? Let me try something else. Let me see if I can do this. Let's try Blue Lives and, okay, fine, Matter. Okay, it's not letting me. Oh, is there a character limit? Why can't I type in Blue Lives Matter? I guess too many letters. Yeah. All right, well, there you go. You get the point. LeBron James, however, tweets Free Waj in support of suspended NBA reporter silent about effort to free Hong Kong from Chinese oppression. Let me tell you this story real quick, and I'll tell you why I'm showing you this NBA stuff. You may remember that there was a big controversy with the NBA. And, you know, we had a lot of personalities in the NBA, coaches, players, saying, oh, we shouldn't criticize China. Why? Because China butters their bread. They get good money from China. But China is engaging in the suppression of the Hong Kong people. You see, Hong Kong, for the longest time, my understanding is that it was a British colony, so they enjoy many freedoms. Well, now that it's going back to China, China doesn't want them to have freedoms, and China wants to crush them. And they are. Many people are fleeing Hong Kong. It's kind of scary what's happening there. Well, I don't care where you live. Free speech is a right. Be it a Chinese citizen or a citizen of Hong Kong or any other country, you have a right to free speech. It exists. The government can try and take it away from you. Some governments seek to protect it. Now, with our corporations, excuse me, and institutions defending China, we have a real threat to our culture and the right to free speech. With this story, Free Waj, you may have heard, it was Josh Hawley who sent an email saying, I can't remember, let me read you the story, make sure I get the context right. Here's what they said. On Sunday, NBA star LeBron James tweeted Free Waj in response to ESPN's suspension of NBA reporter Adrian Wojnarowski, who replied F you to a critical email from a Republican Senator Josh Hawley about the NBA's relationship with communist China. Hawley said, if the NBA is going to be doing, Black Lives Matter, why don't they do Blue Lives Matter, support our troops, or Free Hong Kong? His response, F you. He got suspended for it. What did LeBron tweet? Free Waj. Amazing, man. LeBron, you going to tweet out in support of the people who are having their rights crushed? No. You're going to tweet out in support of the guy who essentially defended China. I'm not happy with where things are going, man. I don't think we can allow our culture, our industries, our sports, our movies, our video games to keep bending over backwards to placate the authoritarian Chinese dictatorship, the Communist Chinese Party. They say the Free Waj campaign started after ESPN suspended, I told you all that. However, after the reporter suspension, the NBA players immediately launched a campaign to force ESPN to return Wojnarowski to duty at the end of the suspension. Still, while James is all hot and bothered about the ESPN reporter's freedom, he seems utterly unconcerned that the Chinese government is oppressing the citizens of Hong Kong with repeated and vicious crackdowns on their freedom of speech, their freedom of assembly, and their freedom to resist beatings, imprisonment, and even death because they believe in a political ideal. Last week, Hong Kong freedom activist Joshua Wong slammed Wojnarowski's FU reply to Hawley's request to the NBA that China's oppression is recognized. For those of us fighting for our very lives against Chinese repression on a daily basis, this is a really big slap in the face. The multi-billion American sports industry, including NBA, ESPN, and King James, ought to stop just talking loud at home, then kowtowing to Beijing, Wong said, of Wojo's reply to Hawley. Meanwhile, China continues to oppress citizens of Hong Kong. Last week, Hong Kong's Chinese minders began deleting movies, canceling TV shows, and taking books off shelves that China feels threaten China's ideology. The same day, Secretary for Education Kevin Young told students not to sing songs that go against China's policies. Chinese security forces even recently began forcibly collecting DNA from accused freedom fighters so they can be more easily arrested, tortured, and perhaps even disappeared by police because they support democracy for Hong Kong. LeBron James has steadfastly refused to comment on China's oppression. Look, man. China's got a serious advantage. They really do, man. Authoritarianism is no way to live. It is a nightmare. But it's very, very hard to win your liberty. It is very, very easy to drift into authority. And China has the ability to defeat us. They do. Don't think we're invincible. We are not invincible. We are very strong. And freedom gives us an advantage too. But China has its advantages. They can manipulate. They can coordinate attacks against us. And at the same time, our own people in our country would burn our own flag, condemn our own country, support Chinese oppression because they have free speech. And I'm glad they do. In China, it's easy for them to control because the people there, they don't have free speech. No one will speak up. They will be crushed, arrested, silenced. In the U.S., there are certain things you can't talk about because of the court of public opinion and people are getting canceled. Many of these people who support this would support China as well. I don't believe that we can stand for that. We need to make sure that we as a culture come together around free speech. And I'll tell you what, man, there's been a big push recently from actual leftists, high profile ones, because they're at risk of getting canceled now, too. Perhaps too little too late, unfortunately. You supported this and now you reap what you have sown. There are people in Hollywood complaining they can't get jobs anymore. There are high profile academics and writers who are scared that cancel culture has gone too far, but you should have spoken up a long time ago. But I will take what I can get. If you now insist on speaking up and speaking out against the suppression of speech and our rights, then do it. And do so with my blessing, and I will give you my respect. But that means free speech for everybody. If we go down this path, if we do not call out people like LeBron, organizations like the NBA, and these big industries that are going to give China whatever they want, then we are marching slowly off a cliff. There will come a time when you will no longer recognize the country you live in. And all these far lefty Antifa types won't be able to burn their flag. The flag will look different. The police will act differently. And we will enter an authoritarian world you wish you would never, you will wish you had fought against it. But that's the big challenge, man. China may not be the most powerful, but they do have that advantage. You see, when it comes to COVID, they can weld people into their homes. They can offer up fat cash to American capitalists who will eat it up and say whatever you want them to say. In China, people don't speak up out of a fear that they will be crushed physically. In the U.S., people don't speak up because, well, they don't want to lose that sweet, sweet green. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James doesn't want to talk bad about China. He's getting a fat paycheck, man. What are you talking about? That's the benefit of freedom. You can sell out your own country, people, and culture if it means you get a bigger mansion. But what kind of future are you leaving for your kids? Not a good one. So listen, man. It's not just the NBA. It was, Hearthstone. It's Blizzard. It's the movie industry changing symbols, changing words because they don't want to offend the Chinese censors. If we just keep giving in, it will not be pretty what happens in the future. China, they can do what they want, but within reason. And we're entering really dangerous territory. Why? China's running concentration camps. At what point do we stand up and say enough? At what point do our sport, our cultural leaders, icons, stand up and say no? Apparently they won't do it. That leaves me worried, but I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up tomorrow at 10 a.m. That's right. And I'll see you all then.